Check, check.
Oh, yo, my brother, 1K in the building.
What's up, man? I almost said morning. Not morning, afternoon.
Yo, remember what I told you about the market? Like I think last week we spoke about oil prices. It's really like I think it's topping out here, $100 now a barrel. I don't really think it gets past this, or you think it hits 150. That's kind of I think that last time we hit like close to $8 a gallon on California. Uh, I think it was like 5 or 6 around the whole United
Yeah,
States.
I can't afford $8 a gallon, brother. I filled up
Yeah,
my
it's
Forerunner on Tuesday. It was $73 out here, man. Don't
yep.
don't do that to me.
Yeah, I was feeling good when it was like 340, 370. I was like, okay, giving us a break, you know? But now it's like just because whatever reason.
War. War is going to lead the way on that for sure. All right, we got 10 people in here. Give it a couple minutes, let people roll in. I sent the link out late. Someone else was on the Zoom account, so I had to boot them off. Hopefully, it wasn't important. But we got priorities tonight. But yeah, guys, if you want something requested, get it in. We usually have room for, I don't know, 12, 13 requests. So anything more than that, we'll probably have to skip you because we only have a 1 hour class. But just put it in this format, please. That way I kind of know. Yep, Bill, I'll look at AMD. Yeah, AMD. AMD is ugly. I'm glad that got requested. I was scanning some charts tonight before the class. NVIDIA looks slightly better. AMD, I'll show you for sure. But
Did you get my
it's not.
UPS?
Yeah, dude, you wanna go over that one as well?
Yeah, that one's pretty it's a nice entry
Wow.
for me, I
Did you
think.
trim, dude? I mean, you're up a lot, I guess, but I mean, can't go back now. But
No, I took a swing on it, bro. I've been mostly focusing on swings, but yeah, I was up a good amount.
just writing these down. Norman at UPS, Bill AMD, Shannon Microsoft. All right. I'll go as quick as I can and try and stick around, guys, because if you bail out, I'm just going to skip over it because I don't want to go over something that, if someone's gone. So, um, shit, 505, small class. All right. One more annoying server ping. We'll dive in, guys. As usual, start out with SPY. Give me 1 second. Start with the markets overall, just to kind of show you guys where we're at. Like I always say, where we're at, where I think we're going. Some big things here. Biggest things for me in the markets, you guys, right now. QQQ closed under 600 and did not reclaim that on Friday, and now we're gapping down. So that's like the first time. We've always kind of closed around. I know this is a SPY chart, but we've closed around QQQ 600 and always reclaimed it quickly, and we have not done that. And then I kind of made just my own or a new chart here with just a couple lines just to kind of so it's not super muddy and confusing what we're kind of looking at here. The 670, so this low range down here by the daily 200 to 654 was really when we pushed up and we tested, and we just formed this range up here. We failed to break higher over 695, and we've never broken under 655 since the beginning of September. And so that's kind of what I would point out. We closed, or excuse me, we bounced this middle ground 670, and now intraday here, hang on tight. If you guys are in calls, it's not looking good. So we have, as of now, officially broken that 670. So pretty big deal, pretty big gap down, back to back weekends. You could have, swung some puts over the weekend and got paid on those. Whether you want to play the war sentiment or not, that's your own business. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that or not doing that, but big deal here. I'm gonna come back to SPY in just 1 second, but I just want to show you on QQQ as well. A zoomed out chart, that's 600, very decisive, and this is the most important thing to me tomorrow. On the QQQ chart is a daily 200. I'm not going to say bet my life savings on it, but I bet we pin this and chop this at the daily 200 for us tomorrow at the open. And I think we high chance that we bounce that for sure. Daily 200 is kind of last chance for shareholders on just anything or trading under the daily 200. That is a pretty bearish signal, and this is what markets, investors, algos, whatever you want to call it, all the above, they do not want to sell under that daily 200. So that is my focus tomorrow on QQQ. Quickly going back to SPY, and I'll jump to your guys' requests as well. If you guys have any questions on SPY, unmute your mic. Keep it relevant to what we're talking about, of course. But big spot here, big zone here. And so that's the spot that I'm watching. On the 4-hour chart, kind of just some things to look at here. Again, I'll try and zoom in, compress it best I can, expand it, excuse me. So right around that 670, 671 zone, we got these nice wick bounces in there. And so basically, if you guys want to chart this in your own time, 661, excuse me. The zone from, what am I looking at here? November 17th. Big spot here. So this is kind of that, on the way down, next little spot to watch here for it to hold. But again, if you guys swung short dated calls, SPY, QQQ, sell at a loss. Don't just dive in. I mean, we sold down or gapping down, $10 from where we close on Friday. So don't just add to losing plays. Tie up all your buying power and just keep taking a loss even more. Yeah, we could bounce, you get out, break even, get lucky, but just take the loss, you guys. This is a very big zone. And now that we are under it, I'm sure I'll come back to this next week or maybe sometime this week. But on the way up, all you got to do is set an alert for that 670. So that was the huge bounce zone over and over. And we are now under that. So anything short dated, very ugly for call holders. Any questions on SPY? Nothing in the chat. Nothing on open mic. All right. So on your guys' watch list. So AMD, yep, I'm sure. Or excuse me, sorry. AMD will be next. UPS for Norvin. He DM'd me earlier. See what we're doing here. Yeah, brother, I don't know what gains you're going to give back on this, but you're up nice, man. Tricky spot, swinging over the weekend. It's tricky, man. So nice little range in here, though. But you're in a weekly. I'm not going to say what percent you're up. It's no one's business, Norvin. But yeah, I wish you would have, secured some gains, or at least hopefully you trimmed on that swing there from Friday. But because it's probably going to give it all back if we close lower here. But I'm looking at this wick here, this 98.38 right there, top side of that zone, top side right there, and they bounce right there. So that's kind of your last line of defense. And then you'd have to kind of roll into a longer dated contract if you want to buy that bounce. Daily 200 is another $3, $3 down from here. Definitely keep watching that. That
Yeah.
daily 200 yellow line, that might be the theme of the night, guys, with this gap down. Tricky spot here, but hopefully still got some green in that Norman, but it's looking a little bit
Yeah,
ugly.
I just pulled up everything and everything just melted down. And
Yeah.
again, gas prices are shooting up and the VIX is above 30 now. Like
Mhm.
things get ugly really quick, but then like we go back to normal. But yeah, it takes a
It's
hit.
tough. I mean, you guys that are swinging bullish positions, this is an environment where you have to stay hedged. I don't know the exact percent, to recommend you guys, but if you're in, I try and look at more of like a dollar amount, like, if you're in $1,000 position of something, you need to at least hedge at least 25-30%, I would think, to offset that. Because if you guys are just swinging long calls, you're going to all open up tomorrow super red to start the week. Markets open and you're deep red on swings that maybe you entered late or already red on Friday. And so without a market hedge, you guys are going to be not looking so hot tomorrow. So please stay hedged, you guys. We don't know when this war or conflict, whatever you want to call it, is going to end. And with it not doing that, as of now, it's very, very risky swings. We've seen gaps down and then they buy back up all day, and sometimes we kind of range. And so we'll see what we get tomorrow, but very, very risky to not hedge your portfolio, guys. AMD for Bill, you're still in here. He wants to check it. Just curious. So this level, I knew we were going to kind of gap down, but let me go to the daily here. What I kind of had while I was kind of eyeing to kind of show you guys. So um, where are we at now? We're at 187 ish. So kind of around that daily 200. So this big zone here, this thick line here, Bill, is what I was kind of watching. I'm hoping, or I was hoping, we kind of opened around it for that kind of that bounce zone play, but we now sold under that. And so tricky spot here because we see um, this was not an earnings gap. I don't remember if this was news or what, but so we got this big gap here. We're kind of halfway, more than halfway in the middle of it. We got the next bounce zone at 185.48 ish, and kind of this 191 as well. So this 191 must hold. If we sell through that, I'm not saying it's a straight shot to 185, but I'm just looking for where volume is most likely stacked at. Basically, a little bit of consolidation here, back and forth before the sell down. So I anticipate them holding or trying to hold 189. Excuse me, 191. Can't talk. Sorry, but anything under that, you see when we sell under that, they didn't really get back over there. So we got this little bit of a void here. Didn't get back over. So we got this little bit of a void here. And so coming back to that, that's where it makes it tricky, where we might see same thing right here. Daily 200 right here. So that's kind of what I'm watching at tomorrow. I know everything's gonna be gapped down big time, and so it's gonna be kind of tricky to play tomorrow. But we've gapped under that daily 200. So tricky spot here. But I'd like to see that to hold, hopefully. But like I said, things are gonna get ugly. That's gonna be kind of the theme of the night. Broke these lows here on this, but if you're a day trader, that next big chance support, that 185.48. And then if you catch a bounce play on that, for me, it can go more, but I am always going to lean to the side of trying to catch this bounce when I see a huge gap down, 192 to 186, big gap down. But again, on the way up, that daily 200 moving average, it's the yellow line for me. So set an alert on the way up if you do catch a bounce, Bill, or anybody watching this. You got to know where that's at, because if you start pushing and you're buying calls up here after watching this big move up and they get smacked down, you're not sure why. Daily 200 is overhead somewhere. That's going to be very, very tricky spot for sure on that one. Hopefully that helps you, but charts are going to be really ugly tonight, guys. I'll try my best on next chance support type of things, but with the hard gap down, $5 to $10 on everything, it's going to be very, very tricky for sure. Microsoft for Shannon. Yep, you're still here. All right. Put the requests in if you guys want it. So far, we only have 3 guys. Otherwise, I'm just going to go to my big tech and small movers watch list and kind of go down the list. And if that's what you want, that's all right. You're in a 400 put. You're going to get paid, Shannon. I love it. Where at did you enter on the chart? You can unmute your mic or you can type in the chat. That's fine. If you entered on Friday, kind of let me know, or if you kind of been in a couple days here and you're red and now you might be green, let me know as well. That way, let me know the price on the chart or the day if you remember. That way, I can kind of help you. Hey, if we bounce, I would not be holding puts here, or if you entered, Friday at close, that's cool too.
I entered Friday close, just seeing like how the market was moving. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
got burnt a little bit on last week when I was, or not last, yeah, last week when I was in puts because you're talking about the range that we were in, and I remember QQQ and it dropped to like 598, I think, and then
Mm-hmm.
it bounced all the way up, and I was like, okay, this is probably a good time to swing puts on the way low. So Friday, after that bearish move that we had down, I kind of waited until like 5 minutes before the market closed and got in that 600 put to swing until Monday.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
sorry,
Yeah.
400 put.
400.
Sorry.
Yeah. You're good. I know what you meant. Yeah. So what I'm looking here, I'm going to draw you this little bit of a range here on the way up. This would be my only, does it expire this week or what expiration?
It literally expires on Monday, so it was
Oh,
just
on
like
Monday.
a
Yep. Cool.
yeah.
So yeah, honestly, man, market open, watch. So there's good liquidity on this. Should be. Let me check here. I assume there would be. Uh, March 9th, 400 put open interest. 1 second here. The the spreads are going to be gapped a little bit. The open. Um, I wouldn't say more than what they closed here. They closed like a $13 spread, and so are you pretty have you traded the market quite a bit, or are you a little bit newer?
I've been probably doing it for like 5 or 7 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So yeah, the bid ask spread, watch that, and then the mid price when it opens. Just keep an eye on that because they're gonna gap it right at the open. And so I know it expires. You're basically walking into tomorrow holding a zero DT. Good news for you. They gap down, $7 or $8. But if that spread is really wide, just be careful. But that being aside, I'm not saying you have to wait an hour, but just wait, a couple minutes if you can. But again, I know it's tricky if they freaking start bouncing this thing and you just see those gains get gobbled up. So what I'm getting at here is watch this red zone here. So how I like to try and teach, or at least chart for you guys, is you know this was a top, this was a top, and then they kind of bounced it here. They kind of bounced it here and moved up, moved up. And so your only focus really tomorrow is basically this is a two-part thing for you. Is basically the kind of this top here at 401 to 401.26. If they open under that and hold under that, you're good. I'm not saying again you should be holding that all day. I would get out, and if market keeps getting weak, just roll into like a Wednesday position. But you see how this was kind of forming tops, tops, top here. If they break over that, I'm treating that as another bounce zone there, and that's not something you want to be holding short data. I don't care if it's up, 300% tomorrow. It's hard to swing in this market. Pat yourself on the back. Don't get greedy with that. But if that level there holds, you do not want to be in short dated puts. Part two, haven't talked about the moving averages tonight. What do we have right here? Purple line, daily 9. Green line, daily 20 moving average. So 9 and 20 daily moving averages, not intraday EMAs. That's my purple line. Those are stacked right there. So again, if they break over that, they're using those moving averages as a support zone to bounce, and they can very well start to fill this gap, this overnight gap. And so you do not want to be holding that. But anything up here, if they kind of do one of these, they little dance in here at the open, and you see 5 to 10 minutes after the open, and they reject that down, if you want to hold for more, do it. I'm not going to tell you can't do that, but if they keep rejecting that zone there, what I would do, cash that out and roll into some 400 puts. That's a very, very good spot for reentry. Just be mindful of, we're coming off a big gap down. Markets will be able to overextend to the downside. So just be on bounce alert, but also, play. This is for any setup. Play with the markets given us. Yeah, we could be selling off hard, but if we just see heavy, heavy pressure, every little bounce is getting gobbled up and they're smacking it back down. Don't try and catch every bounce, you guys. Like I always say on trade floor, let buyers take their turn, let sellers take their turn. So kind of just watch the market. But for me, brother, this kind of this 401 zone, any holds underneath that, secure those gains. Pat yourself on the back. $7, $8 gap down, and if we keep rejecting that kind of an hour into the day, roll into some whatever your portfolio can handle, some 400 puts, and just ride that wave down, man. We can easily sell, tomorrow. I'm kind of looking, obviously 400 is a big psych level, but I'm looking at kind of these little clusters here, 399, basically $1 down every single tick down, just grabbing the top sides of these wicks every single way, every single spot on the way down. But nice spot, man. I hope it holds for all you put swingers. I know I can't be too biased because there's people that are probably swinging calls that are hurt, but gotta love that, man. Cash that out. If they hold that under 400. Nice swing, man. Do you have any questions on that? I know it's short dated, but we can
No, yeah, I
definitely.
do have a just one quick question.
Yeah,
So
you're
like
fine.
when it rolls, so I guess right now it's kind of sitting at like the 400, 400, yeah, 400 level because it went through 401.
Uh huh.
So if it, say I wake up and it's close to like, say it goes through 400,
Uh
would
huh.
you expect buyers to step in to try that 401 level before another push down maybe? Or if it just like if it goes through 400 it's at like 397 in the morning, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it comes down to, I don't want to say it depends, but for me, first and foremost, we've been all of us been preaching, that 600 cycle level on QQQ. So 400, same with SPY 500 when it was there, SPY 400 when it was there. So those round numbers are very tricky. People are going to try and buy that bounce around there. But basically, what I'd be doing in your scenario, if they kind of do, they kind of just trickle down, and like you said, they slice that 400. I'm just watching the pre-market action because the pre-market is very, very important to me. If they kind of consolidate here at 400, then they knife it down. That's my first and foremost main focus. Is I'm looking left. I'm going, okay, where'd they bounce it last? And then if we do get the bounce up, I'm going, okay, where's the most pre-market action? If they kind of did one of these choppy things for like 5-6 hours in the morning, and it happens to be around 400, like yeah, if I catch that bounce on calls, I'm not holding a full position there because I expect a little bit of a kick down first touch there as well. Hopefully that answers your question, but I'm just looking at the pre-market moves, and then I'm looking, my bread and butter is like the 30-minute, the 1 hour. I'm zooming out. I'm going, okay, if they broke 400, I literally just do this in my charts. I hover over and I'm looking, okay, I'm looking at this wick here, 399.21. And then as I look over to the left, I'm like, okay, it was the bounce zone there. It was the kick down zone there. It was a consolidation zone. They kicked it down there, kicked it down. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. And it lines up
Mm.
with these wicks kind of right here as well. So that's kind of what I'm watching. But honestly, man, I mean, if you
I've
want,
just always
obviously,
been bad with
yeah.
like pre-market stuff, and like I realize like sometimes when I get on the like open the trade floor chat and I could just I can just I think I know he's changed his name, but I think it's like Lambos or
Oh yeah, Lambos and food stamps. Yeah,
yeah, Lambos and food stamps. Like
by
sometimes I
the
just
dip.
watch him and like he can just I don't know how he does it, but like he'll like as soon as the bell rings, he's like calls, and then everything just goes up, and I'm just like, how did he get that from pre-market analysis? And is it just
Right.
because of like the chops and like how long? Like, are you looking like an hour before the market opens? Like,
Yeah, I mean, my routine is I'm on the West Coast. Market opens at 6:30, so every day I'm logged in at 5:50 or 6 a.m. I scan the markets and I literally just go, okay, I'm interested here at Microsoft if it tags this level. And I kind of tell you guys this week after week in my Zoom chats, and I set an alert. And I go, okay, what's Amazon doing? And I'm looking here. I'm like, oh, okay, if Amazon opens around here, I'm kind of interested if they kind of tick it down quickly and buy this back up. I'm interested in this. I just do this. I go down my watch list, I set alerts, and then when they ping, like my trade plan is built, and I just act on it. That's all I do. But yeah, man, just experience watching the pre-market. I always I never not have pre-market action on because I want to see what is it doing pre-market. I want to see like we'll get to your guys' request, guys. Sorry, I know we're long-winded here on this question, which is good, but like I want to see this bounce here and this bounce here, and it also lines up with where they bounced it there. So I want to see, did they do that pre-market? And did they did that pre-market? Yeah, because I want to see if they opened here and they slammed this pre-market. I know it's hindsight, they gapped over it, but it's like I want to see this price action here pre-market. So there's never a time I don't have pre-market trading or pre-market hours on because I want to see this price action. You know what I mean? So
right.
good question though, man. Good question.
Sorry, I'll let everybody else go. I was
All good,
talking
man.
too
All
much.
good, man. Nice swing, man. Cash it in. make some coffee, relax in the morning, let the market digest, and then get into a new trade. But I would definitely cash that for sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Yep.
guys.
Yep. Do you guys have daily options scalping room? Trade with Nando is his name. He does premium tab. He's not really a scalper. I mean, if we get a move in 30 seconds, he's going to take his money. I'm reading the chat here in Zoom. River is really our only true day-to-day long-term scalper, or at least for green names, that is. He's mainly in pro lately, and he's a true scalper, zero DTEs. I do not do that. I don't have to hide it. I am not a good scalper. I'm horrible. I get wrecked. I cannot time a candle perfectly and be right in that 5-minute candle. So shout out to River and the guys that can trade successfully scalping, because a scalp is in and out for me. 5-10 minutes. You're not buying a zero DT and holding it 90 minutes. That's not a scalp. So shout out to whoever that can do that. But yeah, if you're a free member, not paid, definitely join. We got a pro and premium members. We got like 6 or 8 pro people and like 10 or 12 or more premium people. So there's plenty to pick from. Swing traders, day traders, scalpers for sure. Errol, you still in here? Yeah, let's take a look at silver. What is this doing? Did we talk about this one? I can't remember. A couple weeks back. I don't know if you're in this one or not, Errol. Were we looking at this one? Again, I'm horrible with sector, when to trade it, why to trade it, how to trade it. But again, we can definitely take a look at from a charting perspective. Definitely all last week, consolidation, $3 range on the daily, where we kind of sitting down to 73.5, kind of right in there. So we haven't tagged that big bottom yet, not bottom down here, but this big bounce zone here. They're kind of hovering here, so I guess it would warrant us to get a couple more lines in here for sure. Because all last week they're holding that 72.5 there. Yeah, that 73. I mean, that provided a very, very nice bottom tick there. It's where they're buying it. They're defending that 73 for sure. So purely from a chart perspective on this, precious metals are tricky for me. But I'm looking, we're on the daily right here. Perfect stop out there on that top. Defended, candle open there, defended. So that's a good bottom to buy for sure. Intraday here. What price action that give us last week? Yeah, bottom ticked it on Thursday, like we said, defended it Tuesday. So yeah, if that opens there and it gets down there, the 73, very, very viable dip for sure. You're playing that double bottom, you're playing that pre-market zone there. And then yeah, just watch this arrow right into here. Any trickle into here, any quick buyback of that level, I think you buy that dip. I don't know options liquidity on this. 73.5 or 74, depending on how much time you have on that, but definitely, or if you want to scale into some shares there, that's a good spot for sure. With the next zones down, how much would you be risking? 2.5% next big zone, or next zone, that big zone, that 67.50 we talked about a few weeks ago. We're only risking 7% on that. And you buy the dip here, kind of that mid to upper range there. 15% upside potential. So yeah, definitely for sure. Let me know. Follow up with me in the chat sometime this week if you catch that. Love to see if you catch that move there. So yeah, that's 73. Nice little consolidation. A little bit indecision candles, top and bottom side wicks on both sides, but that can definitely move either way for sure. All right. Monica, you still in here? Yes, you are. IWM open position on Friday, one contract down 14%. Yeah. 313 is, what is that, a Friday expiration maybe? Not good. Yeah, like a Friday. So let's see. 250, 257 call. Yeah, it's going to be whacked for sure. So again, guys, we're going to be open here at 241 and a half. Yikes. Yeah, definitely sell. Again, this is going to be the theme for a few setups tonight, guys. Big gap down. It's not just about I'm not saying Monica's going to do this, but just in general, guys, don't look at something like this. So we're going to open, I'm just going to stick here on the daily. I'll show you where we're opening. 242 and a half. Yeah. So we're way down here. So you can take an average, you can like full port your average and get out break even, but it's more about option Greeks, you guys. So what I always tell people, Monica bought somewhere in here, looking for a 257, looking for a bounce, somewhere probably into this zone here, make some money. So coming into Monday, if we're way down here, Monica is buying a $6 out of the money strike, respectable. I can get behind that. We open down here. Are we still looking at 257 strike? If this was money more, we're like, hey, let's try and catch the bounce on IWM. No, we're probably checking a 245, a 246, 247 strike. Again, somewhere, $4, $5, $6 out of the money, not $12 out of the money. And so don't just, I always say, guys, you seen my tab last week. We took a small loss on, I can't remember what that was, American Airlines maybe. It's okay to take a loss, you guys. And so you guys that are caught in calls short dated with a gap down, sell the call, move on, quit looking at it. The worst thing you can do, average down, and we sell more. So now this entry is super, super red. And now this average down is red even more. And now all your buying power is eaten up. And now we're making money at the downside and you're stuck in calls, just losing, your portfolio is just bleeding out. Do not do that, you guys. And so again, the theme of the night, take the loss, move on. The gap down happened. That's the business we're in right now with the war news. And so we just don't know because you're now, 12 to $15 or whatever it is out of money. We don't want that. And so looking at the chart, where can we go from here? Let's get some more lines going here. I don't chart this one a lot. This is all from you guys on your requests. So let's get a game plan going on where we could buy the dip on a new entry. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to focus kind of this middle of this range here on these wicks here. It'll be quick charting, but just going to, damn it, why did it do that? I thought I was in drawing mode. All right, let's try this again. Drawing mode, yes. So I'm looking intraday here. 241.79 is kind of stand out. Got a little pocket there. So we're going to zoom in here on an intraday chart here. Monica and other people look at this, but 242.53, that's a big one. Thick line. Red line, just so we can, or green line, excuse me, so we can find it. And let's go intraday now and kind of build a game plan off of that on if we do buy the dip, what we're doing here. I know that's going to be everyone's first instinct is, or probably should be, big gap down, everyone buy calls, but we really need to see how things shake out. But 242.53, if I zoom left here, this green line, focus on that green line. Hang with me here. How far back do I got to go? Come on, get there. First plan of attack there. Pushed up there on Thanksgiving weekend. Big breakout, big candle ending there, indecision right underneath it, breakout, the first move over that level. So first time back here since November 25th. That's my focus tomorrow if I was playing IWM. Easy setup for me is anything open like this, they back test this level, I'm a call buyer for sure. 243, 244 calls for sure. And then again, on the way up, we need to zoom out and look. I'm not saying buy calls, hold for a gap fill. That's just greedy trading. Big 246 overhead, but again, that's $3 away. There's a lot we can find in between here on the hourly. See if I can do that for you quickly. But again, 242 and a half, big spot there. For me, do not ignore that. Zoom left here, I'm on the hourly chart. Let's kind of see what's shaking down there. Build you a couple of targets on the way up if we get that bounce. But if that sells, it gets ugly. So yeah, look at these bottoms here. So can't be looking at 246.3 before all these bottoms here. Not super perfect, but Tuesday bottom, previous day bottom, previous day double bottom, defended right there, stopped out there. So definitely on the way up. And then if they break that, looking left more, there we go. That's that middle range I wanted there. So again, we bounced this level here. I know this is past time, but just, if this was present day, where are we looking? We're looking at past price action for sure. So for me, this 243 flat. So what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing these where these candle closes here, candle close there, there, bounce that. Next zone up, 243.54. So all said and done, we're buying the dip here. Hopefully it doesn't move without us. Target 1, target 2, break that, then push up for this. I know there's still a gap in here, but push into that. If you guys got a couple weeks out calls, then you go focus on that gap fill. Anything over that's 246, but we could push 50 cents and smack down, or we could push, a couple bucks and keep moving. We just don't know. But again, tricky going back and find these old support zones, but 242.5 for sure. Errol, just down here on this, I guess this little guy down here, that's all I'm doing, just sliding left. As long as you're intraday, if you have this down on your chart down here and you're on flexible grid, excuse me, that's all I'm doing. I'm just dragging this down here, going left and right. That's all I do. Just kind of compress the chart like this, and then just zoom to find your targets. Past targets is all I'm doing right there. Good question. So, Monica, hopefully, does that answer your question? Hopefully, tricky spot again. Just take the loss and move on, because like I said, just if we gap down, guys, if we gap down just like a little bit, and you're like, hey, I'm in some April calls. Yeah, I'm like, hey, we're opening right at support. You're in a partial position. Take the average and get that bounce up. But a gap down like this, I do not want people just endlessly averaging down. The quicker you can take a loss in the next trade, you get a win, you get that confidence back. You may not make all that money back, but your confidence grows. You're not going to worry about this IWM or Microsoft or AMD, whatever you guys are in. Like, it's just tricky trading right now, you guys. So got to stick with it. Man, chat is dead. Do you guys want me to go over something? Unmute your mic, or want me to go over something on my watch list, what I'm looking at? Avenger, good to have you. NVIDIA. And some calls. Ooh. You buy time though, brother. Hopefully, we're on that daily 200. So yeah, I was mentioning NVIDIA looks a little better than AMD because NVIDIA is still holding this bottom just a little bit. What are we doing here? It's going to be red, but let's just pretend it's our support zone here. Top left, kick this back a year. So I'm just doing this to when I scroll, just so I can keep track of what it's doing around that zone there. 175, brother. 174.3 definitely has to be defended. I know they poke it under. It's not always about a bottom tick for me. It's about the reaction. Where am I seeing reactions at? And when they hit it into here, late bears are getting bounced really hard and getting cooked. They kicked it under here. What they do? They bought it back the same day, bounced it here, sold pre-market. What they do the next day? They tried to sell through. Market open. They defended. This was November last year. This zone here, same thing. This was December last year. You get the theme here. Yeah, if you truly got time on it, brother, I know you buy long-dated swings, so I appreciate that. I can respect that. Defended there, defended. So last Monday's bottom, basically. Pretty simple, man. I don't know. You can April 17th. All right, cool. So, and you got 6 weeks, but again, time is good, but time is good on consolidation or chop because you got time. But gap down is where the Greeks go against you. But if they defend this and kind of just do a repeat, so this, in a perfect world, this is it. So this is Monday last week, defended it, bought it back up. So, um, you know, if you want the risk and they defend this and you want to slap those calls at the open, they get the bounce. That's the spot. You're kind of bottom ticking. You're bottom ticking that range. You can get that gap fill, and then anything over 179.56, whether it comes that day or a couple days, to me, it's what I'm assuming you bought somewhere up here. It's back to the same game plan. Any sells under here, man, that do not get bounced quick, that's tricky. Even with April 17th calls, because now, if you bought somewhere up here, we're now down $6 more out of money. And so the Greeks are going to be a little bit against you. I think it's better to day trade rather add to the swing. Ooh, good question. At the open, I would probably say day trade it, and definitely day trade puts against it if you plan on holding. If you're going to hold this level that we said was holding or was bouncing, it doesn't. You gotta day trade puts against this. You have to. You're a pretty good day trader, so there's no way that I would be holding swings and watching a big support level that was proven holding give way, and I'm just going to watch my calls bleed out. Like, to me, I don't do that. But that's a big spot there, especially if 175 is reclaimed. My gut says they're going to try and pop it to the daily 200. Whether that holds for 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 3 hours, I don't know. But to me, that tell me they want to hold that. But they sell under this, they kick this up here and smack that down, and you're going to hold those calls. You got to day trade puts against that, because you see here, or we can see. Let's see what it shows us on the 30-minute chart here. So we're going back in time just to see on a smaller time frame what they're doing there. Yeah, so see February 4th right here. Kicked it down, retested it, failure the first 30-minute. Next 30-minute, brought it back up, defended it. This is a probably better example what you might see tomorrow if they kick that down. So a quick kick down. Again, I don't know how far they do it. They try and buy it back up. Where's the high of that candle? Basically, old support is now flipped resistance, and they sell it down $3 on you. But they bought it back at the next couple supports, tried to defend it, kicked it back down. So this is a very, very good possible repeatable setup. So again, if you start seeing this or start sniffing that out, that they're not going to buy over that 175, brother. I know I'm kind of rambling. Gotta go short with it on some day trades for sure, and try and ease that pain of those April swings if you are going to hold that. But again, they want to buy that 175, man. That's a pretty buy up. Any questions on that, man? I know I kind of ramble a little bit. Feel free to unmute if you want, but tricky spot. Like I said, it's looking better than AMD, but not by much. Markets are getting whacked. You guys are scaling in the 401ks, Roth IRAs. This is good. Nobody wants to buy the top. We want to buy stuff on sale. Like I say, this is, a little uncertainty in the markets in the world right now. But again, markets are not going to crash. We're just getting a nice dip, a healthy dip. That's all right. And a dip out of that range, which is all right. Perito, what's worth what? Are you in those NVIDIA with him or just saying in general?
No, I talked to him a good amount, so I'm just asking because it's a big gap down, and
Yep.
so I'm just what I mean, just asking.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. I mean, he can say what strike he has if he wants. But it's if he's buying close to the money. But if he's in like 190s, if Avenger he bought up here at 179.5, you buy at 190, you're $11 out of the money. Now you're coming down, another
185s.
Yeah, dude, that's not bad.
And I had ideas to add around 171-ish.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this trend line and this bounce. So I'm on the 4 hour now, guys. So like we're seeing this defended, so anything April, May, June, if you guys tell me that in the chat or whoever brings up something, I can tell you it's okay to add. But the IWMs and the short date stuff this week, it's like we just can't do that. But we're seeing levels are getting defended. So you guys are not in stuff yet, and you're like, hey, Avengers in something's a little bit red. I kind of like this setup still. You can get in stuff on sale. Just treat this as this is your 55-inch TV. It was $179, but Now it's a little bit cheaper. Just treat this as a little bit of a flash sale. But again, I can't predict if this stuff holds or we sell through. I would think a little bit of retracement, especially the markets after like a $10 gap down. And stuff is gonna be super expensive tomorrow, guys. So just a little bit of a tangent, but be smart with that with your trades. If you can't afford something, it's like a $30 delta or higher, just skip the trade. Because if when it goes against you, it goes against really quickly. But yeah, it's tough, you guys. These Sunday classes are tough when you gap down like this for sure. Tricky stuff here. Any other United Health? I think that is UNH, right? And I do want to peek at a couple of my watch lists. I don't know where American Airlines did a gap under that 11. It did, but not by much. I want to go over that one too, Avenger, if you want to look at that one. UNH for Arrow. Basically trading at 281-ish, holding it right there. Let's cheat. Let's grab this. So I'm looking at this kind of definitive. Ooh, let me lighten that up. That's ugly on the eyes. Can't have that. So I'm looking at those buybacks. I'm on the 4-hour chart here, guys, on UNH, United Health. Zoomed in look there. I want to see what it's doing to the left. Oops. Why it's defending that. Let's see how good our charting is back in time. There we go. Nice spot defended. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, if we believe in buy the dip mode, this is a good spot on United Health. Anywhere on this 280 to 283. I know that's a $3 range, but again, like I always try and teach you guys, when I see a low bouncing that is defended, I know they sold through here, but just this defended buyback bounced it. When they didn't, it got a little bit ugly. When they didn't, it got a little bit ugly. Buyback over. And then again, scroll slowly back to present day. That's what I'm eyeing, stuff like that. I like stuff like this. I like kind of bottom ticking stuff or trying to, or hypothetically. But yeah, that 280 and a half, I'm seeing those big buybacks there. Again, that's all a matter of, yeah, it can sell more, but this is like, do I want to take puts here when I see that big reaction? No. They sell through it, somewhere in a 4-hour candle. Yeah, you get the breakdown, yeah, we'll get bearish on it. But when I'm seeing these buybacks here, that is not a spot I want to dive into puts. If I'm, if you're already in puts, yeah, hold a runner. Come on, 30-minute chart. There we go. But yeah, when I'm seeing just this defended here, back test, bounce, quick money, absolutely. So any push and hold, back test to here, Errol, this would be, again, when I say 280 and a half, I think that's a very good buyback. It looks like we got, is that dividends, I believe, tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. So again, any sells under 280 though, that gets ugly. I'm not a call holder unless I'm like leaps and I'm truly scaling in. But a break under that 280, I'm bearish for what would be maybe a pre-market low. And I'm looking left and I'm grabbing this Wednesday open zone, sell through that, kind of that stop out zone there before the sell down even more. So, downside 1 target, 2, 3 potentially, but any holds of the screen zone or even range kind of chopping, that still puts a no-go for me if that support holds there. Kind of talking supply and demand, that's kind of that demand zone where people want it. Supply is where they kind of sell it. So when they're kind of kicking in there on that spot, very nice spot for sure. Let me take a peek here. American Airlines, I know this is heavily hit because obviously gas prices. We'll just show you guys this chart here. I was actually eyeing this for a bounce play if they do bounce it. So I'm on the 30-minute chart here. I'll kick it out to the daily real quick. I just want to show you this. I know we're under it, but a break and hold of 11. This is kind of got my alerts, my senses up for a bounce play. Look at that line down there. Look at that 11. Again, AAL, American Airlines. Consolidation, they fail to hold it, gets ugly. Consolidation, they hold it, gets nice. Look at this action here at 11. Defended, defended, defended tomorrow, question mark. I like this. And again, haven't talked about this. When stuff gets really, really selly, I mean, 3, 4 instant gap down days, and my daily 9 moving average here is my daily 9 is 15% away. So, it can sell more, that's fine, but I don't want to chase those puts. And I'm just looking at stuff like this. Sell, sell, sell. Here's my daily 9. When these candles are closing, look how far extended down we are. And then boom, we come into here and we trace it back, consolidate with it, let that daily 9 catch up. And so that's kind of my thesis, this is really the only setup I like tomorrow for a possible bounce play on a reclaim of that 11 zone. I'm on the daily chart of American Airlines again. Yeah, Matthew, let me get FCX real quick. Yeah, we'll look at American Airlines for sure. I think you had that last week. I think you're in calls on that. Hopefully, did you squeak out of that? I think you're in calls Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully you got a little bit of money on that. Yeah. Got out in time. Perfect. Nice, man. Yeah. We'll come back to this one. Let's take a look at this. But FCX Avenger. This is precious metals, I think, right? I believe so. This used to be like one of my number one. Used to flip shares in this thing all the time. Trading at 57, so we're gapping down. I want to see what we're gapping under, though. Definitely get a line going here. Get a little bit going here. Spread's a little wide, but we'll call it 57. I think this was an all-time high. Let's check that weekly. What are we doing here? Oops, there we go. Back testing that. Oh man, is that not a lot of support until 54? Let's see if we poke it up here. Let's go back 15 years. Oh, there we go. Never delete your lines, even though I just add these, but you get the point. 57.3. I'm on a weekly chart, so there's a lot of shit going on in between here. But I'm gonna grab one more on these wicks here. Let's get back to present day, see what we're working with here. Intraday. Avenger, talk with Shark about it too. Shark and River, they're pretty smart in this sector. I know Shark likes this name, but that weekly zone there, guys, we went back freaking 15 years, but you don't think that someone's going to want to try and buy that dip there. I bet they do. So again, one of those spots. Look at that. Yeah. 15 years ago. First time back there, resistance. Second time there, resistance. Broke over, support. 15 years, support. I know this is present day. I'm just saying when this was the high from 15 years ago, made it back here. Never delete your levels, guys. Defended, defended. Think they're going to defend it here? I don't know. But again, I'm not buying puts down here at all. Options liquidity. What can we scale in here? So we got OPEX 50. What I say we're at 57. So yeah, I mean, had some 60s. 40. I mean, that's a 42 delta now. That's probably gonna get whacked a little bit, but yeah, the good open interest volume on those 60s for 2 weeks out, or so those close it back $400. They're gonna be a lot cheaper. So scale into April, a little bit thin on volume. I have to go into OPEX. If you get the money for it, Avenger, some April 17th for sure. So it's every $5. So I wouldn't go higher than a 60 call on that because if they sell through that 57, definitely. Oh, you're in those.
I'm in
Nice.
those already.
Sweet. Yeah, that's the spot, man. I know you like to scale into stuff, so this is let's chat about this tomorrow. I might ride this with you. 57 holds.
Do you ever use
I don't
B
know why I said
bands?
alerts on my paper
1K?
account. What's that?
The B bands
We can do that.
on the daily. It's more where I'm looking at it for.
Yeah, so this is my daily B band right here. I had a little script made,
Yeah.
so the daily I can look at intradates below that daily B band for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. If this sticks around, like I said, this is my paper account. This alert's not going to fire in the real count, but yeah, if that 57 holds, I'm gonna write it here in my little cheat sheet down here. It's was it? I mean, I felt like it was running when the markets were weak. You know, people would fly to this and silver and gold, but now it's moving with it. So that's where I'm not. I'm kind of a dummy trader. I don't know. Are you smarter than me on why it's kind of?
I spoke to River about it. Let me see what he said.
Probably started out. Yeah, bro. Honestly,
He's saying if anything, they are good for it. Inflation, so metals remain the safe sector.
nice. Okay. So more of an inflation thing, not really a war thing. But I mean, from a technical dude, yeah. Like I
And
said
it's
again,
at the bottom of the range too. That's what
yeah,
interested me a
kind of
lot.
like AL, like a few things. Like this is one that I feel like we look at some tech names tonight. We're like, hey, it kind of got away that range. Look for a dip, maybe down here. But this is a very, very Bible dip. Daily, weekly, hourly, 4 hour chart. Everything says at 57. So yeah, if you guys like this, FCX. Freeport. It is metals. So 58 or 59 this week, or if you're a swing trader, get April at least, guys. Markets are wild. But nice setup here, man, for sure. UAL.
Are you still in any of those Oscar puts? 1K?
No, I sold.
And they're gonna be up crazy tomorrow.
It's all right, dude. We top ticked that and I sold it that daily nine. I was out right there. I mean, that was what was it, over 100% trade. We can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, no,
I
but
mean, not
it's
brag.
gonna.
We got to stack the money, move on. We're never going to bottom tick a sell or a buy, but I mean, yeah, I'm just looking when I see a top like that and they come into it, I'm out every single time. And a daily 9 moving average, I'm out every single time. But yeah, we can roll into this back in this, man. I would be focusing on. I know I keep skipping American Airlines. Sorry. We can definitely scale on. So I'm looking at this little cluster here. So basically, this is all that matters to me. So push up, consolidation, consolidation, breakout. If they fail, these bottoms of consolidation, and then to even sell, what I'm looking at here is kick this back here. So all these bottoms here, man, bottom, 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 consolidation, bottom failed, boom, bottom, 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 bottom. So if this fails, easy. Basically, 13.2. We'll have to look at some liquidity, but I'm targeting this 12.8. What would this be, like 12.4? And then all this stuff down here for sure. But yeah, even back in time, even more. And if I could probably kick this out even more. So let's go back a year. Yep, same thing. Bottoms, bottoms, bottoms. If it's not holding, it gets ugly. And then one last zoom out, and then I'll go to American Airlines. Because yeah, we see when that gives out. Is there any follow through? Man, they're buying it back though. A little more cautious. I'm not as cocky on this. I mean, we get a nice kick down here, brother, but they're defending that level like crazy. So
I mean, I'm in shares. I hope it goes up, but
yeah, for your sake, for sure, man. But yeah, let's keep an eye on that 13. But if it gets ugly, I mean, I'll take a break of 13 and do this and do that for
and
sure.
then buy that double bottom.
Yep, for sure. And then again, B band's getting extended, but damn, look at that, man. B bands on the daily, perfect. Nice top tick on that, brother. All right, real quick. United Airlines, I believe that is. Matthew, thanks for sticking around, man. Let's see. Ooh, what are we doing here? All right, let's get a couple lines going here. Previous bounce, failed, previous bounce, failed. Pre-market or after hours where we sent 88.6. Let's go back in time. Nice bottom there. Would prefer a hold of that from Friday, but we got this bottom here, 88.6. 4-hour chart. What else do we got on 88.6? Ooh, I stand corrected. Look at this, guys. I like this. Actually, I like this a lot. And I was talking to Avenger and I think somebody else, guys. This is my number one sector. Also, if you want to play the ETF, it's JETS, JETS. Whenever this, if Iran surrenders or if the U.S. backs off, whatever it is, this is obviously heavily expected or affected oil prices. This is my number one sector to catch a multi-day bounce, multi-day swing trade. You can see how, when the war started, even before that, this is heavily affected on, fuel prices. So any news of, gas relief, oil relief, whatever you want to call it, this is my number one sector. Jets, if you want to play an ETF, or you can play the individual names. United Airlines, American Airlines, Southwest, I think is LUV. There's lots of other ones, but again, look at this, guys. Relief bounce. Again, not where I want to dive into puts. This could be a good one. 88.6. I like that. You see the sell, and what do? Late bears get smoked. Late bears trying to short that, getting smoked there. So ugly chart if you're a call holder for sure. But again, back testing big support, and it is defending it right now, as of now in this after hours session. So again, 88.6 here, Matthew. And then on the way up, all we're doing, nice little stair step pattern. Price targets are very, very clear and obvious. I'll quit moving the chart. I'm just trying to scroll. Zoom way in for you guys. So just on the way up, we bottom tick. Oops. We bottom tick calls here. We're looking for the gap fill, but we're not calling stuff way up here. What are we doing? Friday's low. So we push on the way up. This could be target 1. Got some bottom side wicks here. This could be target 2. Consolidation. I can almost guarantee the volume point of control is right there. Target 3, target 4. Why is that 4? Look at those tops there. Lines up with that there. Easy trade setup here for this one. Might be my favorite setup of the night so far. But again, 88.6, we'll see if they can test it. It gets defended, ideally, especially in the morning, like a 15-minute candle for sure. Push up there for sure. Very, very nice. Yep, CVX for sure. I think that's Chevron, Perito. XLE is probably nice. Hopefully, I don't know what your guys' average is with Nando. Hopefully you guys see some nice green. I don't remember which day he entered. This was Friday. This was the war. They sold. So he might be red or break even. You guys just need a breakout day that holds really an XLE. So they hold this. They hold that there. You guys are getting paid. They gotta hold that 58. So it's been looking good pre-market, and they just kill it on you guys. And so I know that's kind of probably frustrating with Nando. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know if he's in profit, if you guys trimmed or not on that one. But XLE energy sector for sure. CVX, I'm sure looks the same. Oops. Yeah, Matthew, you're welcome, Ed. Hopefully get into that one. That's a super, super nice setup for that. Yeah, same thing, gap up, and then it just gets faded. So, but on the daily, I mean, I was looking, it's a runner. Just all-time highs, or what is this on the weekly? Ooh, interesting. Not saying I want to go short yet, but any sells under that weekly wick there. And same thing, this is kind of the opposite. If the war dies down, I think XLE is probably bearish, not something you want to stay in, because tech is probably going to start getting some buys and they're going to buy it up. And so this could be a weak name. It could very well move with the market, but again, same thing. This is kind of that, oil prices. But again, if the war dies down, it settles that uncertainty, this could fade. This could probably have, a decently bad day. Again, obviously, want to get you guys out of your calls if and when that would happen, but hopefully you guys see some profit before that on that. But purely from a chart perspective, yeah, we just can't, it's not holding a move on that. I'm not sure why. Big money just doesn't want to do it. Yeah, it could be a short Avenger, just tricky with the war. Definitely day tradable for sure, but swinging, we just don't know what the hell's going to happen overnight for sure. No, I haven't watched Al Brooks. River warned me that it was very dry and boring, and so I don't have ADD, but if it's dry and boring, I don't have time for that. So I nothing against Mr. Brooks, but I have not listened to him. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go through my watch list quickly, see if there's any I like. I don't think there was much other than American Airlines. You guys can head out if you want. Appreciate you sticking around. I'm gonna do SPY at the very, very end. But if you had a call option, see if should I sell? Michael, give me a little more information on that. When did you get in? What strike do you have? What expiration? Are you up? Are you red? I kind of need some more information before I tell you to sell. But feel free to unmute if you want or type it in the chat. But I kind of need to know, are you in way down here? You up big? Or did you enter where you entered? I can help you out. I'll wait for you in the chat if you want. Michael, unmute, or maybe you're typing. Sorry, no pressure if you're typing. I'll wait for you to reply. I'm going to scan my watch list really quick. See if there's anything that 121 Walmart. I don't think there's a lot I liked. Starbucks, I think Avenger was talking about this one. It was pushing that 99, it's getting kicked down now. Okay, sorry. Back to CVX. Bought it last week at the price of 3. You're gonna call 197.5 March 20th. So you got a little bit of time, not a ton of time. For sure, if you're only in one, if this little top holds here, so I'm on the 30-minute chart here, strictly just playing the chart again. So we see, I'll draw a line to just kind of show you what I'm pointing at here is pretty clear as day, this kind of 193.5. Open price on Monday, instant sell. Tuesday pre-market, failure. Friday pre-market, failure. So if they open over that, for me, because bounces are just not holding, I would sell if you got in, you bought it last week. So, if you were, well, I can just look. Thank you for the information. March 20th. $197.5. Oh, you're red on it. Damn it. Sorry about that. So you closed red. Hopefully this gap up, you get out break even. What day did you enter on? Did you catch? Because I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, well, okay, if you bought somewhere on these highs and got smoked, well, that's pre-market. I can kind of 300. I feel like that would maybe been on a while, but I feel like you should be closer to break even. But basically, yeah, this go ahead, brother. Was that you talking? Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Maybe it wasn't him. You have this 193.5 must hold. Again, I don't know again what percent that would be for you, but purely from a chart perspective, you know, top, 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 and if this bounces, it has now formed a bomb, has now formed support. It's March 20th. You got a little bit of time. I wouldn't swing through this coming weekend. Definitely want to get out this week and, and reposition. You're in April 3rd. Okay. March 3rd. It's got to be March 3rd. I'm so confused. March 3rd. Yes. It's not even in April. Why is that one down so much? You bought in here, a little bit of profit, red. Should be break even, should be almost break even. I just wouldn't think it'd lose 30% in 4 days, but maybe I'm looking at something wrong. But anyways, brother, if this has to hold here, this 193.5, sells back under that, you're probably in profit tomorrow if they hold this. I would just sell and then reposition because it doesn't seem. I just can't figure this one out. You should be in good profit tomorrow if that holds. Basically, based on this close, you're down maybe 30%, basically. 300 down to 200, basically. 212, whatever that was. But yeah, if that holds and you get a nice bounce, that's an okay hold. But again, all these wicks and this kind of worries me because the bounces are not holding, even though I think this sector should be running and holding, especially tomorrow, that huge gap down. But see where things open tomorrow. But any sell under that, that's going to get back ugly. It could be break even and then back to red on that setup. So tricky spot, but again, I feel like you should have been closer to break even there on Friday, but it is what it is, man. Send me a DM if you want. We can definitely go over it more in Discord tomorrow. But yeah, quick recap on SPY, guys. Oh, damn, we're selling more. Might have a day with that daily 200 tomorrow, guys and girls. Sorry, I'm just looking, gathering my thoughts here. Damn, we're selling. Man, contracts will be super expensive too. So yeah, I'm looking at this cluster here. That's the focus, guys. This Thanksgiving week or going into Thanksgiving. That's that cluster right there. That's got to hold. You see that day that did not hold, ugly sell on the 4-hour for sure. Down to this, but again, I'm going to be screaming it if they come into that 654. I'm not a full port person, but you can't pay me to buy puts down here if they smack that this week. Again, we're already sitting at a $12 gap down. So I'm not thinking sell here tomorrow. I'm thinking bare minimum consolidate, maybe a leg down the next couple of days, but I'm leaning to the bounce side for sure, especially looking at that zone there. Especially who knows what's going to happen overnight. If they reclaim that 662, I'm looking for a breakout retest call bounce for sure. Who knows how far we get up into this gap, but if they reclaim this red zone and I'll turn that green tomorrow, I'm buying the bounce for sure on 662. Quickly QQQ, then I'm going to end the class. Again, if you guys want to leave, you can. No need to stick around. Appreciate it. Damn it. Freaking sold under that too. Wow. Sold under the daily 200, man. But again, I'm just high alert. Buyback, buyback, buyback. Buyback, question mark. I don't know, man. Buyers better wake up, but again, it's a sell that it's very warranted on just war fear. So that's tricky spot there. But congrats to you put holders and you call holders short dated. I'm sorry, but that is just one of those sessions. But all right, y'all. I gotta get some dinner. I gotta clean up and relax for the night. Appreciate y'all sticking around. All the regulars, some new faces for sure. Looks like we had a few more people from the free chat, so that's always awesome. Always love that you guys put in the work. DMs are always open. You guys send me a chart, say, hey, I'm looking at this. I want to buy calls here on this. Here's my strike. What do you think? As always, I'll give you guys priority versus the people that say, hey, spy calls here. I'm just going to politely ignore you because you're not trying. Send me a chart, even if it's a phone chart. It says you're trying. It says you're trying to learn to be better. You guys will always get my first attention and priority. So with that, y'all, have a good night. Wait, what do we got here, Avenger? Sorry. This is definitely a Midwest goodbye. You guys know what a Midwest goodbye is? You stand at the front door, you say goodbye for like an hour, and you're still
Call
here.
that the Armenian goodbye too.
Oh no, you're all good there.
I sent you a picture of it. You could respond in DMs.
Oh, you want me to spawn in DMs? Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go in DMs. I'm not gonna blast that right now, but all right, y'all. Have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning.